Oh yeah, oh, what a night.
Hey everyone, big heads up. Paleo Valley's running a sale on all their meat sticks right now. You can get 30 sticks for $36.
Me.
Oh yes, it's ladies' night, and the feeling's right. Oh yes, it's ladies' night. Oh what a night. Oh what a night. Oh yes, it's ladies' night, and the feeling's right. Oh yes, it's ladies' night. Oh what a night. Oh girl, y'all got one. A night that's special everywhere. From New York to Hollywood, it's ladies' night, and girl, the feeling's good. Oh yes, it's ladies' night, and the feeling's right. Oh yes, it's ladies' night. Oh what a night. Oh what a night. Oh yes, it's ladies' night, and the feeling's right. Oh yes, it's ladies' night. Oh what a night. On disco lights, your name will be seen. You can fulfill all your dreams. Party here, party there, everywhere. This is your night, baby. You got to be there. Oh, it's ladies' night, and the feeling's right. Lady, I love you. Y'all got one. A night that's special everywhere. You dance, you smile, the guys go wild. So chic, so fine, you all look so divine. Oh yes, it's ladies' night, and the feeling's right. Oh yes, it's ladies' night. Oh what a night. Oh what a night. Oh yes, it's ladies' night, and the feeling's right. Oh yes, it's ladies' night. Oh what a night. Romantic lady, single baby, sophisticated mama. Come on, you disco lady, yeah, stay with me tonight, mama. Yeah.
If you hear any noise, it's the boys and ladies night. Uh-huh. Gonna step out ladies night, stepping out ladies night. Gonna step out ladies night, stepping out ladies night.
Oh yes, it's ladies' night, and the feeling's right. Oh yes, it's ladies' night. Oh what a night. Oh what a night. Oh yes, it's ladies' night, and the feeling's right. Oh yes, it's ladies' night. Oh what a night. On disco lights, your name will be seen. You can fulfill all your dreams. Party here, party there, everywhere. This is your night, baby, and you got to be there. Well, this is your night tonight. Everything's gonna be alright. gonna be alright. It's your night tonight. Everything's 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 gonna be
Who's the black rider dick that's a sex machine to all the chicks? You're damn right.
Welcome, everyone. Hope you guys enjoying the music. Welcome to another Live Radical Republicans live show here on Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am the host of J Black Mambo. And before I really get deep into it, I'm gonna let Shaft play a little bit. Because I'm looking for my ladies. I pumped it up ladies night, and my ladies hadn't shown up yet. I know there was a couple of scheduling conflicts possibly, but let's see when the ladies are gonna pop in. If not, that's all right. You know, I always have a show planned out and everything. So if the ladies don't show up, I just be doing it solo like I always do. I was going to shorten the show tonight to an hour because I'll tell you guys the story of that. And because I produce my own show, I can do that. I can make it an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or whatever I want to do. And so that's what we might have to do tonight because I have some issues on the grill. Been cooking all day on the grill. I had this brisket on the grill. I was in the house painting as well. It's like I said, welcome to the show. I appreciate y'all hanging in there with me. It's supposed to be ladies' night tonight, like I said, but here we go. All right, so before I start the show, I want to say this. I really want to get this off my chest because, I mean, I see it too much. I see it too much, and and people just don't have nothing else better to do. Sometimes, I guess I don't know. I mean, what I'm talking about is this censorship. My show, just to put it out there, my show and is about the First Amendment. It's about freedom of speech. That's why I don't have a scripted show. I don't have an edited show. I don't have a censored show. I don't have a filtered show. My show is what you get. Okay, and a lot of other shows, they can't do it because they have sponsors. They can't, say some of the things we say. They can't have some of the guests that I have because it's too controversial for mainstream media. It's too controversial for a lot of, I guess, places. I mean, and people. I mean, I see people, getting doxxed, and just because you don't like the show, just because you may not like the show, or whatever, I mean, don't mean you have to be nasty people. Don't mean you have to go and, and report of whatever. I see people, there's shows, we watch on the internet how people get sent to their employers, I guess reported on their employers because they don't like, what you said about the Pope, or they don't like what you said about Jews, or they don't like what you said about a black person or a white person or Hispanic or whatever. I mean, you get everything on my show, and and people that watch my show know I'm harder on my own people than anything, especially my black brothers and sisters, right? So, I mean, if I, hurt your feelings, or if the show, any of my guests hurt your feelings, talking about the Pope or talking about Jews or I mean, just any topic. I mean, we've had, gay people on my show. We had LGBTQ, detransitioners on my show. I mean, we've had black, white, Hispanic. We have everybody. So anyway, with that said, if you don't like the show or you don't like anything that's being said on the show, you know, you don't have to watch. You really don't have to watch. You don't have to, I guess, sit in the cut just for a gotcha moment or whatever. No, because the show is the show. Posts are posts. It is what it is. If you don't like the post, just keep going. I served this country for 27 years. Okay, I have to check something. Okay, but I served this country for 27 years, and for the freedom. Let me ask this back. For the freedom of people to be able to say what they want to say, right? It's called the Constitution. It's called the First Amendment, and everything. Okay, so one of my ladies' flight just landed. She got delayed. The flight got delayed, so she's gonna get in as soon as she get home. That's Trevian. So we had some issues, man, flights and everything. So may not have a ladies' night tonight. We never know, but we're gonna talk about some ladies. We can best believe that. But I served this country for 27 years, nearly 3 decades of my life, fighting to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, the First Amendment. And I mean, and I may not agree with everything someone says, and you're not going to agree with everything someone says, right? That don't mean that I'm a bad person. Doesn't mean that you're a bad person. We just don't agree. If you don't agree, you just move on. You don't. You just keep it moving, right? If I'm scrolling on a post and I see something, a white lady calling a black child a nigga, I just keep scrolling because I'm not gonna get involved in all that. Some things if I don't like what's being said, hey, I just keep scrolling. I don't get involved, in all the BS. So, but I tell you, what you're not gonna find is another channel that's as truthful than this one. I don't think. And sometimes they say the truth hurts. The truth hurts, and I feel like if you're one of them kind of people, if you're one of the people that get upset because someone says something, if you're one of those people that go and report someone to their employer because they said something or posted something, you're part of the problem. You're definitely part of the problem that we're trying to really get rid of here in the United States, because it's called neo-communism, right? It's called neo-communism. Because this country was founded on, the First Amendment. That's the First Amendment, right? Freedom of speech, and so, we're fighting communism here in the United States. We are. They want to take away your Second Amendment rights first, right? They really want to take away your Second Amendment first, because without your Second Amendment, you can't defend your First Amendment. Okay, and people need to understand that. When I was on the campaign trail, I used to say 27 minus 2 equals 0. That was one of the mainstays of my campaign, because I was for the Second Amendment. 27 minus 2 equals 0, right? And if you can't figure out the math on that, we have 27 amendments, and you take away the Second Amendment, you will definitely have 0 left, because you have no way to defend your First Amendment rights. So, I'm always going to stick up for First Amendment rights for everybody. For everybody, we can discuss, and we're going to discuss some of this stuff tonight. Some of the nonsense, right? I'm not going to say they shouldn't say it. I might disagree with it and call BS on it, right? And say why, and that is stupid or whatever. I can say that. You can say my show's stupid. You can say whatever I say or whatever any of my guests say, is stupid, right? So but I defend your right. I still defend your right to do it, to say it, because I took an oath, and I live my oath every single day. And I defend your right to say whatever you want to say about me, whatever you want to say about anyone else, whatever. You want to say, we're all Nazis for, believing and supporting, President Trump, then okay, no problem, right? You can say what you want to say, but I'm not gonna report you for it. If it's really that bad and I don't want to hear you, I just block your ass, right? Right? I just block you, and I won't go to your page, right? You see people that that may not like what you like, and I have this meme, right? I really should have put it up, but I have this meme that says, if you don't like me but still watch everything I do, bitch, you're a fan. You're a fan. I'm really gonna have to find that meme. But that's what it is, right? If you don't like what people are saying, you don't like what they stand for, why are you, lurking on their pages? Why are you searching on their pages to find a gotcha moment? Why are you doing that? Right? You're a fan. You're a fan. That's what you are. Because I honestly, I don't watch anything that I don't like. I don't watch any person that I disagree with, a show. I never watch The View. I pull clips from The View all the time because they're stupid and silly as hell. But I never watch The View because I don't watch anything on it. I never watch CNN. I pull clips for the show. I never watch MSNBC. I have never watched a Mad Cow MSNBC show. MSNDC, DNC, CCP, as a black conservative perspective say it, but I never watched the show. Why would I? Why would I? And I just, but I would never do anything. If they want to, keep playing the show, let them play it or whatever, or if someone says it. But, I just want to get that out, out there, because, it's just too many people, out here trying to, gotcha people, and you don't need to. Just go about your life. Just go do your life, and that's it. All right, so I'm gonna hit a sponsor real quick. Prep Raw Naturals. We do Prep Raw Naturals today because you never know. In these uncertain times, with food prices skyrocketing and supply chains under constant threat, it's imperative to secure a reliable source of high-quality protein for you and your family. Prep Raw Naturals, a veteran-owned company, offers premium freeze-dried beef products that ensure you're prepared for any situation. Their newest addition, freeze-dried ground beef, is fully cooked and lightly seasoned, making it a versatile staple for your emergency food supply. Just add water, and in about 10 minutes, you'll have delicious, tender beef ready to incorporate into your favorite meals. This complements their existing line of freeze-dried steaks, including New York strip and ribeye, all sourced from 100% natural beef. We are having trouble streaming from CloudHub or whatever. CloudHub is having an issue. All right, no worries. All right, so let's just take CloudHub off tonight. How about that? Yeah, I got these streaming issues. So anyway, they may be down. But anyway, okay, with a shelf life extending 10 years without refrigeration until open, these products are ideal for long-term storage, ensuring you have access to nutritious protein when it's needed most. Visit maverickbeef.com today and use code MBN for 25% off of your order. Invest in your family's security and health with Prepper All Naturals freeze-dried beef products. Don't wait for the next crisis. Prepare now with quality you can trust. Now, tell you about my day real quick before we get into the show. So I've been cooking this brisket, right? I'm a barbecue dude, right? So I've been cooking this brisket, slow cooking it all morning. Started about 7:30 this morning, and and I multitask, right? I multitask. I paint, and I do some other stuff while the meat's cooking. It's taking a while, so I do some things. So anyway, the meat wasn't getting up to temperature. Later in the day, it's been about, I don't know, 8 hours, right? Been about 8 hours. And so I go out, I have a master built 560 grill, and so charcoal goes in the top of it, and so I went out there and I checked my charcoal, and I was out of charcoal, so I had to restart the fire. So anyway, dinner was a little late. Dinner's a little late today. The grill, so it's off the grill. It's in the cooler. It's gonna be great. So that's why I might cut the show to an hour. So I would better get started with some stuff today instead of talking about me and all that. So, but anyway, I hope you all had a great week and everything. And I see you guys over there in the live chatting, getting it on. And I know it's it's getting into the summer. People are still outside. People are still doing things with their families and everything. So I'm thinking about changing time of the show, changing the day, taking a break. Just depends. We'll see. We'll see what we're gonna do on Sunday night. So if we just change it, but I think we're gonna keep it on Sunday, and but we'll see. Okay. So let's talk about women. It's ladies' night. Ladies' night tonight. So we're gonna take we're gonna go. This woman. I'll say this first. I'm gonna play a couple of clips from Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar is a problem. Ilhan Omar is a jihadi. Ilhan Omar does not need to be in our Congress. I know how she got there. You guys don't understand. If anyone don't understand that, because people say, how did she get elected? Well, it's a refugee program, right? This is what happens when you have refugee settlements of thousands and thousands of people, and let them stay. And let them stay. If you don't know Ilhan Omar's background, she's a refugee. Her family is refugee status from Mogadishu. She came here as a little girl because her father was part of the Adid army over there. Adid didn't trust him anymore, and they were going to be killed. Okay, and so they, refugee status. Part of the refugee status was rescued from Somalia and brought over here to the United States. And in Minnesota, there's a huge. I remember back. Shit, it had to be probably in the early 90s now, late 90s. I went and visited my cousin. He was living in Minneapolis. And so this is at the time the refugee resettlement program started in the 90s, right? And so, when I first went there, the Mall of America, right? Went to, that was the great big mall, Mall of America went there, And I was shocked to see all these Somalis there. And I asked my cousin, I'm like, dude, what's up with all the Somalis? He said, yeah, man, they're bringing them here refugee status, right? Well, what happens is when you do that, they stay and they breed. They have babies, okay? They have babies. Where Americans are not having babies anymore. American blacks, blacks abort all their babies, so shit, that doesn't matter. So blacks through abortion, not having babies, and white people through just not having kids because everybody want to do their careers, and you're having 1 or 2 children, not 6 or 7 anymore. And so, but they breed, and they breed a lot, okay? And so they become the majority. So all the refugees in the majority, so all the refugees that was in Minneapolis, and now it's in Detroit, it's in, factors of Detroit a lot, Michigan and stuff like that too. But and so in her district, she grew up, and she became, they became the majority of that district, because it's an all Somali district, basically. And so she ran for Congress and won because her district is Somali. She's a Somalian, right? And she is, her allegiance is to Somalia. I'm going to let her tell you in the words, okay? But this is United States Congresswoman Ilhan Omar.
gabar idinku af ah gabar idinku diin ah oo ah hadde qof iyadoo da'yar waddankeedii laga kaxeeyey weli xiise u qabto in maalin waddan.
Okay, so I want to stop. I'll probably stop going through this, but she said that she was a young girl taken. See, this is the bullshit. This is this crap. She was not taken from her country. Nobody took her. Her family begged for us, for the United States, to save their asses from General Adid in Mogadishu. So no one took her from her country, first of all. Okay, but yeah, she now this part, she misses her country, wishes to live there. I'm sure she does. No, the fuck she does. No, she can easily just go back, right? She really does. She wants votes. She wants money. This is her pledge to the Somali people. She's talking at an event, full of Somalis. And, she's using her native language, right? And so let's continue.
keedii ay ku noolaato oo dadkeedii wax ay la wadaagto. marka alxamdulilah waxaan rajaynayaa aniga iyo ilmahayga in aan hadde ku barbaariyo iyagana ilmahooda ay ku barbaariyaan dhulka.
Okay, so she and her children, she wants her and her children to go back one day, right? And she pumps a lot of money. She gets a lot of money for Somalia, right? And for these programs, right? So and this is her main goal. This is her main goal. Bitch, go. You can leave at any moment. Take your ass, take your kids, get out of America, because literally she should not be in our Congress. This really upsets me. She should not be in our Congress. And we have these weak ass Republicans that won't repeal her, won't expel her. I mean, they got George Santos, right? They expelled George Santos. He was doing some crooked shit, but still, he was still loyal to America. He was actually pretty loyal to the Republican Party too, and they pretty much shit on him. And they won't even expel this woman. This woman should not be in our Congress of the United States because, one, she does not uphold the Constitution. She upholds the Constitution when it benefits her and her people, like being deported. Then she'll try to defend the Constitution. Oh, they need due process. Even the illegals, they need due process, right? She'll try to put up that defense then, but she will not. She does not uphold the Constitution first and foremost, like she should, like the oath that she took. She is in violation of her oath of office. This is easy. This is easy, right? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if I was in Congress and Royce White was in the Senate? This is why they spent all this money to beat us. They spent a lot of money to beat me and Royce White. They spent $7 million to keep me out of Congress. I think they spent like 10, 15 million to keep Royce out of the Senate. But can you imagine me and Royce White on the Hill? Man, you talking about a 1-2 punch. Woo. Woo. But she should not be in our Congress. There's no way this woman should be in our Congress. Her first allegiance is to Somalia. And this is why I say no person, not just Ilhan Omar, but no person that has dual citizenship, that has allegiance to another country, and that's any country. And I don't care if you guys get mad or whatever. I'm talking Israel. I'm talking Germany. I'm talking wherever. You should not have allegiance to another country serving in our Congress or any of our judicial, any of our government offices. You should not have it because you swear an allegiance. You raise your hand and swear an allegiance to the United States of America and supporting and defending the Constitution of the United States. That's what the oath is for. How many people are in violation of that oath that needs to get the hell out? How many people? But she should go. Let me finish this clip.
aniga aan ku soo koray taasna haddii ay suurtagelayso waa hadda shaqo badan inaan wada qabanaa hadduu ilaahay yiraahdo oo aan ka dhignaa dhulkeena dhul barwaaqadiisa dadka oo dhan ay dareemi karaan oo ay arki karaan oo ay ka wada faa'iideysan karaan.
She's a disgrace. She's a disgrace. I'm going to play another clip. So that was the first one of Ilhan Omar I'm going to play. And this is how Ilhan Omar, how she handles reporters here in the United States of America. She's a congresswoman who just asked her a simple question.
Miles Morrell with the Daily Caller News Foundation. Do you think more of your Democratic colleagues should be traveling to El Salvador to advocate on behalf of Rodrigo Garcia?
I think you should fuck off. Yeah, that's
I'm sorry, what, Congresswoman?
fuck off.
Who should?
You.
Why me?
We're not taking any questions right now, but here you go.
Yeah, thanks.
Her,
Congresswoman
her
Omar,
response was, if you guys didn't hear that, her response was, you should just fuck off. If that was a Republican, think if that was if that was Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? This would be news. You guys haven't even heard of this. This is not mainstream media. This is not on CNN. This is not on MSNBC. This is not on any of those stations that the Democrats watch. She is very disrespectful. You disrespectful. You guys can finish the sentence. Very disrespectful. Oh, just say nothing. Just say nothing. But this is the disdain she has for the United States and the United States Congress. This is United States Congresswoman. And here's a last clip. And then I'm going to get to some Kamala Harris, because this is when I play this Kamala Harris clip, this is what we don't need. Okay. But this is one of the problems that Ilhan Omar is a racist. Ilhan Omar is, and like I keep saying, is a jihadi. She's funded by Qatar. She's funded by a lot of Arab nations. This is where she gets a lot of her money and donations. And she's a disgrace sitting in our house, in our house. She's a disgrace.
The radicalization of white men. I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. We should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men. I would say our
Well, you guys heard that, right? You guys heard that. Our country, she says, our country, this is not your country. This is not your country. Yeah, you probably got your citizenship. You got a little green card, and you helped your brother get over here and marry him. She's committed so many violations here in the United States. I mean, you're talking about identity fraud. You're talking, I mean, just everything. Just so much. There was a actual list on Twitter I saw today. All the things that she's actually done. She should be out of Congress. When is a Republican? When is a Republican going to stand up? I'm talking to you Republicans in the House. When are you guys going to stand up and expel this chick? She's a racist. She foments hate. And this is definitely not her country. This is definitely not her country. And it's women like Ohar Elmar and Jasmine Crockett, and I'll get to her in a minute too. But it's women like that to where I disagree with Kamala Harris on this. And I'm gonna play actually a lady from Somalia too, that is the type of people that we do want here in the United States. But let me play this clip for Kamala Harris advocating for something that I totally disagree with. Totally disagree.
Gala, right? Which focused on recruiting Democratic women to run for office. I think it's super important that we have more women elected leaders. But what I think is more important is to make sure the Black women are uplifted. What are you going to do since you're finally clocking back in to uplift Black women?
Well, first of all, I want to remind all women, and Black women in particular, that there is still so much ground to be broken. And know that you have support. Know that, again, that people will applaud you for taking that step to think about running for office and to run for office. Know that I applaud you, as do so many, for you to have the ambition to know that you've got something at stake and you're prepared to lead because you have a voice and an opinion and a stake in the decisions that will be made through that office, whatever the office is that you seek.
All you have to do is look at the Democrat Party. All you have to do is look at the Democrat Party and see that's the last thing we need. Is what she said. That's the last thing that we need. She's still crazy. Yeah, could tell you she's still crazy. I mean, if you look at literally, you know, when are they going to quit trying to make her black? I mean, this is what I want to know. When are they going to quit trying to make Kamala Harris black? She's not. She's not black, but she keep want to placate black women and sat down on it. I believe, you know, supposedly they didn't sat down, right? They said they gonna sit down since the white women didn't help them elect Kamala Harris. They sitting down. Please stay sitting down. Please stay sitting down. Somebody gonna report that? I said black women must sit down. But that's the last thing we need. If you look at if you just look around the country, you look at these black women in particular, let's say, that are in charge of districts. Let's say in Congress, right? In charge of districts. Let's look at it. You got Ilhan Omar, even though she's Somali. You got Jasmine Ratchet Crotchet. You got the chick up there in freaking Detroit, Michigan, right? I mean, but you got all these people. And even if you want to come down to the local level, you look at the mayors, you look at some of the people that's in, you know, women that's in police chiefs, look at local, you look at, you know, the mayors, you look at the city councils, you look at the state legislatures, right? Here's what I want you guys to do. Here's a challenge. Find me one. Give me one area. Give me one city where there's a black female mayor, black police chief, black congressman in a district, senator. Show me one area that's thriving, that's safe. The schools are good. The children can read and do math on grade level. The cities are not run down. You show me one. Just give me one. That's all I want. You give me one, and I'll be quiet. Democrat, black, and I won't even say white as well, but black female, since she want to, you know, keep calling herself black and putting the black women out there on blast. Just name me one area. Name me one safe area with a black female police chief. Name me one area. I mean, she's talking black female, so I'm talking black female. So, you know, don't at me at this, all right? You show me one black congresswoman where her district is safe. Jasmine Crockett's district is ratchet as she is. You know, Ayanna Presley up there. Show me her district, right? Show me one. Just give me. You can inbox me that. Show one district, one city, one state, one area where, you know, you definitely can't use Maxine Waters' district. But show me one. So for Kamala Harris to say we need more black women running for office, no, the fuck we don't. No, we don't. Not if they're going to keep, you know, doing the same thing that we're doing and promoting this nonsense. Show me one. And, you know, some you're going to get mad on and want to call me a coon and everything else, which I don't care, you know. I think it's kind of cool, actually. You know, you guys call me those names, but, just show me one. And, I mean, if you can't, then just save the conversation. Save the insults. Save the name callings, calling me a sellout, whatever. I mean, because it doesn't affect me, right? It doesn't affect me. So I want you to just name one. Give me one area. Just one. I'm waiting. Anybody in the chat, can you tell me? Can you help a brother out? Can you help a brother out? I don't know why Omar not getting investigated, but can you help a brother out? Just show me one area, man. And don't try to flip the script. Oh, well, white areas about we're talking about black women right now, right? That's who Kamala Harris is talking about. Let's get to Kamala Harris. Let's talk about this now. Because you guys know she was drunk at that thing, at this Emerge thing, right? She was totally drunk at it. And she really got off on the elephant thing. You guys, I don't know if you guys heard this, right? The elephant thing, right? So let me play drunk Kamala Harris. I mean, these are black women in office, black women that, they want black women, black Democrat women. Notice they say Democrat women, right? Because black Republican women are pretty straight. They've done some great things, great areas too, to be honest, if you look at it. But let's play some Kamala.
The course. But that's not a reason to throw up our hands. In fact, please allow me, friends, to digress for a moment. Okay. It's kind of dark in here, but I'm asking for a show of hands. Who saw that video from a couple of weeks ago? The one of the elephants at the San Diego Zoo during the earthquake? Google it if you've not seen it. So that scene has been on my mind. Everybody's asking me what you've been thinking about these days. Well, so in the video, for those who haven't seen it, here those elephants were. And as soon as they felt the earth shaking beneath their feet, they got in a circle and stood next to each other to protect the most vulnerable. Think about it. What a powerful metaphor. Because we know those who try to incite fear are most effective when they divide and conquer, when they separate the herd, when they try to make everyone think they are alone. But in the face of crisis, the lesson is don't scatter. The instinct has to be to immediately find and connect with each other, and to know that the circle will be strong. So I'll end with this. I am not here tonight to offer all the answers.
Because you have none.
But I am here to say this. You are not alone, and we are all in this together. And straight talk, things are probably going to get worse before they get better. But we are ready for it. We are not going to scatter. We are going to stand together, everyone a leader, and emerge. You have a special role to play. Organizing is as important as ever. Mobilizing is as important as ever. Running for office is as important as ever. So please, everyone here, please keep doing what you are doing. And to everyone, let's lock it in. Lock it in. Gear up for the hard work ahead. And please, always remember, this country is ours. It doesn't belong to whoever is in the White House. It belongs to you. It belongs to us. It belongs to we, the people. Thank you.
The Democrats live on fear. She talk about living on fear. The Democrats live on fear. Donald Trump is going to crash the economy. And you guys know the stock market came back. If you sold and didn't buy during the dip, you're a fool. You're a fool. If you listen to these people, and by the way, all you people that was listening to these Democrats and everybody, the sky is falling. And your 401ks are going bankrupt. And you went out and sold your shit, you dumbass. And you went out and sold by the fear that the Democrat Party was putting on you, because pretty much all those gains are already back, right? And if you bought more during the dip, you're just that much richer. What? Right? Yeah, she's lit. She stays lit. But I don't know if you guys saw that, right? I have the clip. I have the clip. She was talking about the elephants, right? And it wasn't that dramatic. It wasn't that the big thing. Here, let me show you guys the clip. Let me show you guys the clip. People want to. Okay, so let me show you the clip. The elephants. Okay, circle during the earthquake. Blah blah. Okay, so here. All right, so I'm gonna play this. Right. Okay, it's soundless. Okay, so the ground is shaking. The elephants running around like, what in the hell going on? Right? They're like, all right, what's going on? All right, so I mean, this is natural, right, or whatever. So the most vulnerable, whatever. And now you see, they immediately ran in a circle. No, they stood there for quite a while, like, what the hell was going on, right? And then they got together, make sure everybody was there. Okay, they got together, make sure everybody was there. Okay, the little baby in the middle, whatever, right? I mean, but they immediately went into a circle and blah, 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 blah. I mean, they do this for anything, right? This is what they do. This is what animals do. They protect each other better than humans do. So that was her dramatic. That was her dramatization of what the elephants did during the earthquake. Okay, everybody go, ooh, okay, everybody say it, right? I mean, but the Democrats, let's talk about fear. Okay, let's play some things about fear here. The Democrats live on fear, on making their constituents afraid. Here's liar Hakeem Jeffries.
Of the American people. It is outrageous that Donald Trump and congressional Republicans are trying to enact the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. They will hurt families, hurt children, hurt seniors, hurt women, hurt veterans, and hurt disabled Americans. Hospitals will close, nursing homes will shut down, and people will die.
Hospitals will close. Nursing homes will shut down. People will die. Yeah, you're talking about a party, you're talking about a leader, right? They weren't too concerned about when the illegal aliens were here and these hospitals were shutting down because they couldn't afford to give health care to all these illegals. They ain't come out and say anything about the hospital shutting down then and people dying that couldn't go. Well, why? Oh, because that didn't fit their agenda. That didn't fit their narrative, right? The Democrat Party's love for this is what they live on. They project. They live on projection. They live on projection. They live on fear.
This budget that Republicans are trying to jam down the throats of the American people at the direction of Donald Trump is unconscionable, unacceptable, and un-American. And Senate Democrats and House Democrats are going to do everything possible to stop this. American people. It is outrageous that Donald Trump and congressional.
That was the same clip. Hold on, I meant to try to play another one. Okay, let's go to some more fear from the Democrats, right? Let's watch how the Democrats. Okay, we'll go with Ratchet.
I don't feel like we're living at a time in which these representatives, whether they're senators or House members, are listening to their constituents. If you listen to your constituents, then you will hear pain. And that pain is spread across the political spectrum. Whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent, the cuts that you talked about, they are going to impact everyone. And it's interesting, as we are going through reconciliation, we had a reconciliation markup in oversight as well as judiciary, so I had a very long night on Wednesday. And to listen to them, the things that they were not willing to say that they were okay with cutting, or the things that they were willing to cut, right? It's absolutely insane. And I have to tell you that the House budget Democrats have made sure that we have every single district listed out with the amount of people that will be impacted by the Medicaid cuts, with the amount of people that will be impacted by the SNAP cuts. But you even went a lot deeper there. And here's the reality. You said that he wants there to be a portion of the budget that goes up to $1 trillion on the defense side. And when we look at defense, you know who can't pass a clean budget or a clean audit? It's defense. They have failed the very last 7 audits. So why would they continue to get raises, which they always do, yet we're going to hurt the most vulnerable amongst us?
Yeah, and they're saying that it's targeted. It's for certain programs of the Pentagon. It wouldn't just be to boost overall spending. But I still think it's a good question in terms of what that looks like. But do you think the president will get what he wants here from Republicans? I mean, what is your sense of watching your colleagues across the aisle?
It seems like they do whatever he wants them to do at all times, right? Like behind closed doors, they will.
You know, I just want to stop. It's sad when CNN, when the biggest propagandist, Caitlin Collins, I believe her name is, on CNN has to fact check you right in the middle of your sentence, right? Have to fact check you, right? You know, you guys caught the fact check. You know about defense. You guys caught that, right? She fact and checked, and when CNN has to fact check you, you're probably lying.
Talk about how these things are crazy. You can find plenty of Republicans that will tell you that these tariffs are a problem. They will tell you that, and they know that it's a problem. This is why they don't want to go out and listen to their constituents by having town halls. This is exactly why, if you tune in and watch any of these hearings, when it comes down to marking up these bills where these cuts are supposed to be, you know who won't even defend them? The Republicans. We sat in hours and hours and hours of in listening to amendments as we were going through the markups. And every time we started calling out specific Republicans and said, Congressman such and such, what do you think? And they literally were silent. It was almost like they were told, don't say anything because we can't win. We just have to vote down these common sense amendments and get through this because this is what we've been told to do.
I got something for that.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
That's all they do is lie. That's all they do is lie, man. That's all they do is lie. And then, you know, when they get, and she mentioned something about the Republicans, you know, in their town halls, right? Okay, you see, she didn't mention this. You see, she didn't mention this town hall. And they never mention what happens in their town halls, right? Because let me tell you something. Republicans do not go to Democrat town halls and make it believe like we're Democrats. Democrats come to Republican town halls and cause ruckus, right? But this is LC's town hall, one of her own supporters. Whether you believe whatever she says or not, okay? You know, if there's a genocide in Gaza, we've gone over that through my show, and my feelings about that. But if whether you believe that or not, right? That was her constituency. Because the left, they've radicalized their base. Their base is totally radicalized, right? Now, I happen to believe that what's going on in Gaza, and I've said it a long time ago, right? I'm not a Hamas supporter. I am not a Israeli government supporter. I am not a Netanyahu supporter. I am a Palestinian and a Israeli people supporter. And what's going on in Gaza, and then those people getting pushed out, everything that's going on over there and I've been on the record, and I'll go on the record again tonight, it is messed up. And as far as I'm concerned, I mean, if it was the other way around, people would be calling it a genocide, right? If Russia was doing what Israel is doing, because Ukraine is attacking Russia, right? Since people want to say, oh, well, they're just defending themselves. Israel is just defending themselves from rockets from Gaza. They're defending themselves from Hamas. Okay, well, Ukraine, as far as I know, is shooting rockets into Russia, right? So my question to you people, what if Russia was doing the same thing, the exact same thing that Israel is doing to the Palestinians? What if Russia was doing that to the Ukrainians? What if he was pushing all of the Ukrainians out of Ukraine and pushed them into Poland and pushed them into Germany and pushed them all the way out to the far reaches of their border? Well, what would you guys say then? If all of these people are getting killed, women and children getting bombed and their refugee camps and getting bombed, their hospitals, their schools, because they're trying to get the terrorists that's launching missiles from Ukraine into Russia. Well, what would you guys say that was? You guys would call that a fucking genocide. You guys would call that a genocide, and you know you will. You know you would. If it was Russia on Ukraine, you would, or pretty much any other country except somewhere in Africa. They're having genocides in Africa. Guys don't mention shit about that, but I digressed. But what if that was Russia doing that, totally annihilating, because they can, you know that Russia can annihilate Ukraine at any moment they want to, but they haven't, because that's not their plan. But what if it was? What if that was going on, and everyone that's defending Israel on this, and of course my shot, it's unscripted. I wasn't planning on going here, but that, sort of made me go, what if it was the other way around? And take yourself, fuck your feelings, right? Take your feelings out of it, because the Israeli people are protecting themselves. Okay, well, Russian people are protecting themselves, but you don't see them doing that shit. Just saying. Just saying. You guys would call it a genocide. Okay, so let's move on from there. But truth is truth. I'm sorry if the truth hurts. Ouch. Ouch. Who did I just hit? Who did I just hit with that rock, man? Who just got punched in the face? By that rock, man. Golly. Because the truth is the truth. It just is what it is, right? It just is what it is. And so I want to play some truth. We've heard enough lies. We've heard enough lies. I'm gonna get to this one guy. Then I'm gonna have to bounce here in a minute, guys. I have to go and cut my feed my family, man. Okay, here's some truth. I have a couple other clips to play, right? I have a truth clip, and I have a Dallas clip. I think it's very cool, and this is what we need to do here. And so I have a couple more clips. Then I'm gonna have to end up bouncing. The ladies stood me up tonight. Oh my God! I know one went to the mountains. She probably don't have any service. Nah, but scheduling conflicts though. But anyway, it is what it is. We'll have ladies' night another night. I'll hook it up, get it back together when we have a good ladies' night. But here's the truth of what's happening.
Why are the recessionistas so badly wrong? What have they missed? Well, President Trump's one big beautiful bill will pass both houses of Congress probably around the July 4th holiday. It's just a couple months away. Mr. Trump has said repeatedly that he will give business investment a 100% immediate expensing write-off. Immediate expensing write-off. Plus, he will provide factory investment and building the same 100% immediate depreciation. Plus, he has said that all this will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And let's not forget, the corporate tax rate for Made in America goods would drop from 21% to 15%. So what's actually happening is that businesses are front-running the big, beautiful tax cut that will be coming their way. It's a phenomenal story. It's a story of reshoring. It's a story of how the business tax cuts along with the new personal tax cuts for service worker tips, for overtime, and for senior Social Security benefits, will far outweigh any drag from the
All right, so that's really what's going on here. Okay, if you want to know that the tariffs are working, you know, the stock market is back. What was it? The high this year, a 52-week high was 45. Okay, that was a 52-week high, but we're talking about over the past year, right? So let's go. Where Trump has only been in office, what, 100 days? So that's about 3 months, right? Okay, so 3 months. Okay, you're talking about a reset. You're talking about resetting the economy and resetting everything that's going on in the United States. Okay, 3 months. Okay, the stock market's down 3,000 points, but it's coming back in 3 months. The last month it's up. The last month the stock market is up 579 points. So it's coming back. My girl just came in. Wait a minute, it's ladies' night. Hold up. I gotta play this for her, man. I have to play this for her because she missed it. She missed it. She was on a plane. She got here late because she was her plane got delayed. So I'm gonna play this. I have one lady in tonight, and I might just let her take over the show here for a minute while I go and cut the meat or whatever. But hold on, I can't find it, man. This is what happens when you don't have a producer, yo. You gotta have a producer, right? And all right, here we go. I'll play a little bit anyway, right? This is for Trevian. Trevian just got here. Trevion's in the house. So this is for Trevian. I was setting this up for ladies' night. I played it, and no ladies showed up. That was the intro to the show tonight. You guys welcome Trevian Kutti to the show. What's up, girl? So your flight got delayed?
You all have to forgive me because I'm in travel gear. I was filming a commercial with a client for like 18 hours and then jumped right on a flight. So yeah, this is what you get.
You're beautiful. You look good. You look good, girl. I mean, we went through a bunch of clips, went through everything. So you're shooting a commercial. Your flight was delayed. So yeah.
And I've had no sleep. So
and no sleep. I was just gonna cut the show short. I was just like, we could just do an hour. But since you're here, we're gonna bring it in. All right, so we got a couple of things. Okay, I want you to comment on a couple of things real quick. Of course, I play some Ilhan Omar clips. Yeah. Because of Dana with data. Okay, yeah. So Ilhan Omar clips. The Somali thing and where she told the reporter, fuck off, right? So we played that thing. For a retrack. Kamala talking about more, especially they want to say black women. I want to get your take on this because I gave mine. But you said more black women need to run for Congress, more Democrat black women, not conservatives, because they know conservative black women are on point, right? And I put out the challenge. I said, show me an area anywhere in America where there's a black mayor, a woman mayor, a black congresswoman, a black senator, a black police chief, somewhere in the United States, a city that's thriving, that's good, that's safe. Are there any? Give me your take on that.
It's unfortunate because, to be honest about it, once these black women, Democrat politicians get elected, they really have no power. They're just pawns in the system, and they get selected. Like you have Dick Durbin, who is retiring as a senator here in Illinois, and Juliana Stratton, who is the lieutenant governor for J.B. Pritzker, is duly looking to take his seat. And, it's this clique thing in Chicago. You've got these, fraternity women who, they only believe in black. They don't have any education as far as how politics should be, displayed, here in Chicago. And Ilhan Omar, what she's done is probably one of the smartest strategies in politics. She moved all of her people into where her district
right?
To guarantee her power.
Mhm.
And Black people, they've also done this thing, but Black people follow the party. Ilhan Omar is trying to take over and be a trendsetter as far as bringing in, people bringing in their constituents in mass into their districts. And so, as terrible as her politics are, I will give her credit for being one of the most intelligent strategists as far as getting elected goes.
Yeah, I think she should be deported and sent back to Somalia. She did say she misses Somalia, and she wanted her kids and her daughters and her kids to go back and hopefully one day live there. So I'm like, we should let her. I mean, if you say that and I say that she's not committed to the United States. She's pretty much, a lot of people up there pretty much sell out their oath of office to defend the Constitution. But but this is what they do, and I think a lot of them people should be moved. And I did mention that about Little Mogadishu. How most of the Somalis live in her district, and they breathe, and that's how they got power, and that's why she's elected. Because a lot of people, still question, how did she get elected? Well, you said it correctly too. That's exactly how she gets elected, because there's nothing but Somalis in her district right now.
And just how it was that we allowed her to legitimize marrying her brother.
Her brother, yeah.
These are the things that I think President Trump needs to look into, because if we have this Ilhan Omar situation in Minnesota, it's just a matter of time before this situation happens in New York. This situation happens in Chicago, because they're all for this illegal immigration. And and unfortunately, I gotta say it, they're winning this immigration battle, sort of like China is winning the tariff battle. Because President Trump said, oh, we're going to get rid of all of these people, and then he backtracks and says, oh, well, we're going to let these illegal stay.
We're gonna let these stay. Yeah.
And then if you go and come back, oh, we'll let you in. Like, how does that help the conservative demographic, power wise? It doesn't. And so, there's a lot of things I think that President Trump has on his table at once, but he ran on immigration. Okay.
Right. That's right.
We're losing that battle. We haven't even deported 250,000 people. 31 million people entered the country in 4 years. People like to say, oh, it was 9 million, it was 17 million. It was upwards of 30 million people. So, like I said before, we've always known that this administration can't take on this task alone. They've mentioned bringing in local task force to help, but I always think this should be a civilian situation. Civilians should be empowered to protect their neighborhoods, to protect their jobs, because as you see, when illegals come in, the workforce declines, wages decline, quality of life declines. And so all of this is all, preempted. It's all strategy. It's all political strategy to be able to infiltrate our elections and make Democrats stay in power. I do recall President Trump saying, this is going to be the last election. I don't know if that's signaling that he's going to fix this problem, or if he's signaling that so many illegals have infiltrated our elections, we won't have any more. And to be honest, we don't have elections anymore. We have selections now.
Right.
People are selected to run. I had mentioned before that I, put an exploratory committee out to run for Senate. I'm going to keep my $2 million, because unless this party, if they come and get me to run, then I'll run. Because at that point, you have your backing. At that point, you've been approved. But if you think you're just going to run and throw your hat into these elections, the best of the best candidates still get beat. And I think her name was Kathy Burnett. Kathy Burnett,
in Philadelphia,
ran an amazing
in Pennsylvania
election. And then they came in and they threw Dr. Oz in the race and then got behind Dr. Oz. So I think people need to understand there are no more elections. Trump was probably right about that, because if you're not selected to run by your party, you will not win your race. So
Yeah, I mean, and I'm proof of that. I'm total proof of that because, like I say, they spent $7 million against me. When I say $7 million, that was both parties, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, because I was a +6 against Elaine Luria. So the Democrats spent 3, the Republicans spent 3, because I wasn't voting for Kevin McCarthy for Speaker of the House. And this is what happens. If you're not playing that game, and towing the line,
that's a
then
game you should play, because they got rid of McCarthy themselves.
oh
So
yeah,
that's a game you should
yeah.
play.
I
You have
should
to
have
know
played
when to
that one,
play
huh?
the game.
Hey, I'm
You
just
gotta
too
know when
truthful
to
though.
play.
I'm just too truthful. That's what it is. I can't tell a lie. That's that's the problem. But we're gonna hey, so I'm gonna play something real quick for you. Then I'm gonna let you get out of here because I know you're tired and we're gonna just shut it down. But this guy, and this is why I say that there should be, if you're not a natural born citizen, and I was definitely gonna sponsor this bill. If you're not a natural born citizen with natural born parents here in the United States, you should not have a seat in our halls of Congress. You should not have a seat, ever. And this is why. I mean, because you have guys like this, and of course, Ilhan Omar.
This is Congressman Shri Thanedar. Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a unanimous 9.
See, because we don't have a democracy, first of all. See, these people, they come over here, they don't know what the frick they're talking about. They come up from these caste systems from India, and things like that, then want to talk about democracy. We don't have a democracy, but let's keep it moving.
Supreme Court ruling, that has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump. The court said the wrongfully deported Kilmer Garcia must be allowed to return and receive due process. Trump ignored it. He ignored the Constitution. He ignored the very checks and balances that keep our democracy intact. This isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a dangerous, deliberate pattern. That's why today I introduced a resolution to impeach Donald J. Trump, outlining 7 articles of impeachment.
All right, I'm not going to continue the bullshit, but we got guys like this, right? Who don't even understand our Constitution, don't live our Constitution, that are in our halls of Congress getting elected. And this guy had a company that abused beagles. I mean, if you look into this guy's background, had a defunct company, went bankrupt, and they abused beagles. They had to go and rescue the beagles. I mean, he was in here giving dogs beagles by Viagra and just crazy stuff like this. I mean, this sick son of a bitch here is sitting in our halls of Congress, wanting to impeach Donald Trump for whatever reasons he feel he was going to give him. But I don't even want to go into all the nonsense. I mean, this is why. I mean, this is the guy. That's him. That's him. That's the guy. Okay, so we have people in here, and that's why I say we really have to, when I say we, the conservative movement, conservative party, Donald Trump, of course, is still definitely support him. But the Republican Congress, the Senate and the House really have to start putting in his agenda, because like I said before, we only have 2 years. We have really a year and a half left. And like you say, with the selections, we don't know what's going to happen in 26.
I saw this guy and I swore that this should have been an SNL skit. It was just almost hilarious. It's like he has a fake hair and
right.
His dentures are just terrible. But this is, again, we see controlled puppets. We don't see intelligent politicians anymore. So what's happening is they're selecting the people that they can control completely, and these people carry out these agendas, and that's where we are. Hopefully this administration will implement a plan that will allow people who do have the best interests of this country to actually become elected politicians, because right now the walls are up, the barriers are up, the people are chosen, the puppets are in play. And, it's going to take something to come out of this administration to be able to change that. Otherwise, and at this point, to be honest, you still can't trust the politicians that are in office on the Republican side. I don't trust them all. I've never trusted them. I never the only person that I have faith in is President Trump, not JD Vance, not this cabinet, not anybody. And what I can say, and I just want to mention this again, President Trump brought my cousin Tony Holden home from prison in Kuwait just a couple of days ago. We have 397 people in my family on one side, and not a single one of them voted for President Trump. Tony has thanked the president. However, nobody else in my family, their brother who was brought home, he's one of 13. None of them have said, thank you, President Trump. They give honor to God, and that's wonderful. But the fact that my family members cannot thank this president who brought their brother home, who was wrongfully imprisoned, set up in prison, set up to be put in prison, beaten, kidnapped. President Trump brought Tony home, and my family still does not have the common sense and the decency to thank this president. And it's
I saw you. I saw you on Laverne's show. Yeah, I saw that.
It's a rough place to be in when you have a family that just they don't get
They don't get it. I have a sister like that.
Yeah, you want the best for them, but and even in this incident, they still didn't have the decency and the common sense and the wake-up call to thank this president. So
because Biden did nothing.
I'm going to continue to fight with President Trump and President Trump only. I think, his hands are tied with this Israel situation. We have Iran that announced earlier today that they plan to attack America if it is that Israel or America attempts to attack them. I think people need to take that very seriously. I don't think people understand the power of Iran. They tend to look at Iran as, on the same level of these other Middle Eastern countries. Iran is the smartest and the most proud of the countries in the Middle East. They've been able to finagle getting attacked in wars for over 15, 25 years. So, or however many years it is. Iran is a very smart country. They have already, and they keep saying, we have to stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons. Iran has nuclear weapons. They're just not on site.
Iran has weapons that they haven't disclosed to the American people that they have. The government understands that they have them. Israel understands that they have, because you have to understand this, right? And the logic. Israel don't give a shit about any country over there. If they want to attack them, they will attack them, right? Especially if they feel that that country is sponsoring terrorism inside of Israel, right?
Right.
They haven't attacked Iran for a reason, because they know what Iran has, and they don't want that smoke. Right? Yeah. They don't want that smoke.
Cocky Americans will be like, "Oh, strike! Whoa, bomb Iran!
Yeah,
it's
not
that simple. Without Iran is the water pipeline of the Middle East. Russia depends on Iran for oil. China depends on Iran for oil. You hit Iran, you're now at war with China and Russia. Which is why we have this sentiment from President Trump. I would like to talk to Iran. The negotiations with our conversation with Iran went well. Same deal with China. America has to remember, Vladimir Putin is the most powerful man in the world. People don't want to admit it. I've known it for a very long time. A very, very long. When George W. Bush was president, I think Vladimir Putin showed his strong arm. And that's when I became aware that that whoever sits in the White House is never going to be the most powerful man in the world as long as Vladimir Putin is alive. And, we keep, electing.
You're a Russian sympathizer. You're a commie. You love Putin. You're going to.
I understand what's going on in the world. If you see a lot of my posts have to deal with BRICS, because BRICS is this powerhouse.
BRICS. Yeah.
And people don't realize it. Russia, China, India. India is playing great right now because we have this issue with China and the tariffs. So India is like, well, let us jump in. We can get Apple phones made here just like they do in China. We own technology. Between India and China, American technology is owned. Which is why we can't just go to war with China. And just to hear Americans say, oh, they better be scared of us. Nobody's scared of America anymore.
No, they're not.
Nobody's scared of
No, they're
America.
not.
The only thing that's saving us right now is the respect that people have for President Trump. Outside of President Trump, the world doesn't give a crap about America. So Americans need to realize that. They need to educate themselves on the power of Iran and their relationship with Russia and China. Actually, they were just firing ballistics off the coast of the Red Sea with Iran. So that's a tag team that we don't want to mess with. And I think Americans have become complacent and failing to realize that these powers have been building and building with the great significance to overpower America, or at least stalwart America. And people just don't want to, accept the fact. But when you own the technology, which China owns most of, India owns the rest of it, what do we own here in the United States? It was all sourced out. People don't want to accept it.
Right. They don't want to accept it, and they don't want to understand that, we get everything from China. If China wanted to really shut down trade and shut down, okay, you know what? We're just going to stop sending you anything. We make it all anyway. Then we're screwed. And like saying that, and a lot of people don't understand that. And a lot of people don't understand the tariffs. A lot of people don't understand what President Trump is trying to do by bringing back all the manufacturing that we need here. We have to do that to sustain as a country, to be a world power. You cannot be a world power and not manufacture your own goods. You just can't. If you're relying on a communist country, and this is the part I don't understand what think tank or what supposedly smart guys ever said, yeah, let's put China, a communist country, in the World Trade Organization. Let's give them all our shit and let's buy all that shit from the commies. What smart person even did that? It was some dumbasses. It's just ridiculous. And now it's coming home to roost. And you mentioned also Russia. You mentioned Russia being world power, and they actually demonstrated that in Ukraine when they dropped a couple of hypersonics in Ukraine, right? And we're like, oh, okay, yeah, we don't want to. Yeah.
Russia
Poland backed off, and then
their weapons in the world.
It's crazy.
They have the most nuclear weapons in the world, and I think we need to take the win that President Trump was able to establish 90 plus countries that came to the table immediately and was able to negotiate it. But I said it way before anybody was willing to just acknowledge it. I knew China had won the war on tariffs before Trump, reneged, before any of it. You have to just look around. Everything you look at is made in China. And people saying, well, China needs us more than we need them. Not really. And I think, this is a wake-up call for everybody.
Here's the trade war. If we really want a trade war, we truthfully want to hurt China, all Americans have to boycott everything from China.
Not possible.
I'm just saying, that would be the thing. I know it's not possible because everything is from China, but I know I do my part. I try not to buy anything that says made in China, whatever. But of course you do.
Where's that microphone you're talking on made?
Oh shit, it's made in China, okay, but damn.
What are you talking about?
I said if I can, keywords, when I can. Hold on. Hold on, I'm gonna check the box. Check the box.
Check the box. Check the box.
I'm gonna check the box. I said when I can, right? When I can, but like you say, a lot of times we can't. But hey, it is what it is. But
that American flag on your wall might be made in China.
Now that shit was made in USA. I got this one from the USA. I know exactly where this is from. I would not have a flag hanging on my wall that says made in China. This shit said made in the USA, baby, for sure.
Just check it, you never know. You never know.
No, I hear you on that. Hey, well, thanks for popping in. We're gonna just go ahead and get at it.
And we'll make them cheaper for you.
Oh yeah, I know, right? Hey, but hey, we're gonna jam. I'm gonna let y'all know you're tired. I know you wanna go ahead and relax. So I think last week was the anniversary of the end of the awful Veterans War, Vietnam War, not Veterans War, but Vietnam War. So I'm gonna go out on a song. This is to all those people that served in the Vietnam War. This is to the people. I know we do it on Veterans Day, but it was the anniversary of the end of Vietnam. So
did you see President Trump post him as the Pope?
yeah,
Him as the Darth
that's the Darth Vader, and these people, and they're losing their minds. They're oh, now he thinks he's the Pope. Oh man, I'm like, come on, man, y'all need to
no
stop.
Pope right now, so why not? You know what I'm saying?
He's a master troller. He's the master troller, man, and these people just lose their minds.
There's no Pope right now, so
Now, there's no Pope. It could be, I guess.
he's like, but right now it's gonna be Donald J. Trump. I'm the damn Pope.
Yeah, right. It's just unbelievable, man. And these people,
That's what's
it's
up.
just it's just crazy. Hey, so we're gonna hook this ladies' night thing up, in a week or so. I know we had some scheduling conflicts, but we're gonna hook it up. But we're gonna go out, and for the people that served the Vietnam War, or you have family that served the Vietnam War. So this is to you guys. So we're gonna rock it out. And Trevian, thanks for coming in. We appreciate you as always. If the fans love you, they say we love Trevian. I'm reading in the chat. So hey, but we'll get with you next time. Though, to everybody else to join the show, we love y'all. Sorry we cut it a little short tonight, but I gotta go and cut some brisket, baby. So we'll check you out next week, next Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Radical Republicans live show. We'll check you guys out. All right, later, girl. We'll see you.
Later. Bye-bye.
For these stars and stripes, hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop. And his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down here the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. He's Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down here. For these stars and stripes, stand on these front lines. He'll pay the ultimate price. Lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. March in line, march in line.